Hey there, everybody. This is my final match of Season 28. Playing E.Honda, well, of the regular part of 28 most likely. This is big goons times with Wharf drawn, quite a few villages, and so Seaway on like a minstrel is going to be okay. It may be hard to, well, not that hard to find a spot to fit that in. I don't think anything else is really going to compete here. So I guess the question is, what's year 4 be? You might add a dismantle very late just for the copper trashing, although if you have wharf draw, it's not such a big deal typically. Wharf also plays, not the duration part. You can't play wharfs with conclaves, but it is pretty nice to get a larger hand size. Helps conclave quite a bit. Of course, it doesn't help diplomat as a village, but you may have some just for draw. And potentially still activate sometimes because of the wharf attack or by using conclave, though it won't be that easy to do. The opening is not super clear to me. I'm thinking either silver conclave or silver diplomat. I don't like a dismantle opening particularly, though it could of course work out. Well, I should at least think about it because he's playing it. It will help you get not your first shuffle, but your second shuffle will help you hit goons and wharf pretty well. To get the copper and the gold is gonna be pretty darn good for that. Well, I'm gonna get a silver, so I should just go ahead and buy that and let him buy his silver. No, I have to think about my floor. I kind of prefer a conclave, I think. Diplomat is also reasonable, but I'll just go with it. This will be wharf easy. If I hit another 5, it'll be another wharf. If I hit 4, it'll be a minstrel, of course. He finds his necro. Not your favorite shelter to find there, but it's okay. Additional silvers are not amazing necessarily. His deck, of course, is pretty fat. Well, that time the silver was amazing because it let him buy a wharf. There was a real chance, given his it's pretty sad that I don't manage to get to wharf on this turn. There's a real chance, given his shuffles, that he would fail to hit 5 on this shuffle as well, even. But he hit 5 and 6, so. Well, not that it was pretty hard to fail to hit 5, but nice shuffle for him to get the 2 silvers together. I would probably just get another wharf if I were him, and he does, which I agree with. I could think about it, goons. The Wharves are, I mean, the Wharves are important, but if you have 4 Wharves, it's okay because they're Rabbles and Diplomats. I'm probably going to trigger Shuffle. I'm not actually confident of that Goons. It probably should be a Wharf, but this will be a pretty reasonably good turn for me. Hopefully he drew something dead, although it's not clear that he did. This doesn't especially matter, but I do want to play the Minstrel to give myself a chance. So I didn't get to the Goons, otherwise that turn would have been excellent for me. This is pretty nice that he's drawing a little bit dead there. He's probably going to double Minstrel. At least I would. He needs to because he's got all this treasure. He needs a little filtering for his actions. So this looks like a double Minstrel to me for him, but we'll see. If I found my Goons last turn, would have been very, very nice. He could also pair it with something else. I think for him, Conclave is not so good, so I quite like that play. This is a little sad I don't get a Wharf down, but I do get plenty of money, of course, so that's very good. I'm gonna draw something probably dead here. This is pretty sad that he got to all this stuff here. I do have a silver in here, so there's some outside chance I still have an okay turn, though pretty likely to not be super happy with it. I don't think he's ready for second Goons yet. First Goons is reasonable because of the attack and just to start scoring some points, but beyond that you really want draw. Fortunately he didn't get a Wharf down this turn. He may go double Minstrel again. He might go Minstrel Diplomat, but double Minstrel looks pretty safe to me. I'm gonna find my Goons now. This is technically a, well, it's not that big of a shuffle anyway. So that was pretty good. There's gonna be a real possibility for a curse pile out. Because of the Goons. So alright, this is looking nice. Quite nice. I think the Diplomat's pretty much doomed, but just having a moat is not that bad. We almost drew the deck there, not quite. I'm up to 9 buys. I can't decide if I want Wharf or a Rabble now to pair with Goons here. I could also go with Minstrel Goons. I guess I bottom deck the silver. He did get a Wharf down last time. He didn't get to Seaway his Minstrel, so he's going to be quite a bit behind on buys compared to me. In fact, I think I'm up to 11 now if I draw a deck. So if he takes a Wharf, I can technically 3-pile with the curses. I think. I'm not 100% sure where I got to on the buys, but so anyway, I hope he takes a Wharf, but he's probably checking that. But it would give me a chance to pile out here. His deck is so fat. I mean, granted, he does have a lot of Minstrels, so he can get through that junk, but anyway, it can be a little bit of an issue, I think. Okay, so I do have a out now if I draw the deck, which I at least have some shot at. So I tossed 3 coppers already. Okay, this is nice. We want to play this thing. Yeah, this should be the end here. Yeah, he just didn't watch the buys and check the curses. I do not like the dismantle opening, although it can pan out better for you than maybe it did for him there. It's true that Minstrel can filter that stuff, but you still have to draw through it in some sense. It's not free anyway. Maybe his draws were really awful. I wasn't particularly tracking it that closely. It's it's easier to get terrible draws when you open with that than if you just do silver equivalents. Since the fours were so good, it wasn't like you're going to be that sad with your draws. But we have another shelters board. It didn't really matter on that last one that much. The Necro maybe. I don't know if the Necro even ever helped me, maybe once. There's another Goons board though. I didn't even see Goons here. So probably like a Devil's Workshop trade route opening is okay. The draw isn't quite as good at getting through coppers this time, so but I'm reasonably interested in gaining some fours. Poacher opening might just be better. I could see that poacher being a little bit better, but here the village split could be a determining factor. I mean, it might be, I don't know if it's this much of a determining factor, but it's not impossible to just go for the ports kind of dead on. Here I'm going to buy ports and gain an imp, which is an awesome draw. This is very, very lucky draw for me. And my trade rate might be with whatever, with if it didn't miss, it's going to be with a shelter. Not the ideal shelter, but I'll just trash copper and buy lighthouse. I kind of want to keep the necropolis for now. That might be wrong, but I kind of like keeping it around for now. The Goons attack, of course, is not really a thing. Just because of how good lighthouse is at blocking stuff. So this will be a second lighthouse, and probably a poacher. I can kind of see, you'd really rather buy the ports, but I can see just gaining a port because, you know, it's pretty good. So this will be second lighthouse. I won't gain any more lighthouses unless it's like a Goons consideration. This is nice to find the imp before the end of the shuffle. I haven't hit really very well with my trade route as far as pairing up those, but I could have taken gold. I mean, there's a question of whether gold was better than well, whatever it is that I got. A scavenger wouldn't be that bad. Hopefully I can get to catacombs here. I'm gonna keep taking ports now because I think if I can win that split big, it'll be pretty important. Also because it gets me imp, so that's pretty nice. I already have 4 in hand. Depending on if I draw the trade route, it could be less than that, I guess. So now the question is whether I want to get a catacombs. I think I'll just trash and take the imp with the ports. I really have not had good trade route draws. though the rest of my draws, the nature of the rest of my draws have been pretty good. I guess I'll take a silver here when I hit 3. I could hit more than 3 because I could find the imp. But it's just 3, so I'll take the silver. We are going to need to buy goons at some point, so. Hopefully this turn we find the hovel or the overgrown estate. There may be big keep points to get with goons and copper at the end. His turns have not been that impressive. I guess he's probably a little thinner than me. No, I think I've trashed 3 cards. So he's not even really thinner than me. This imp doesn't, the play on the imp doesn't particularly matter. I could get a copper to gain an imp, but I'm going to just gain a devil's, or one of these things, I think. Hopefully he didn't find his catacombs. That would suck for me. I could have bought copper and then gotten the imp, but that might have been better. I could believe it anyway. Yeah, if he has 4, he probably does. He's got all these silvers. Otherwise, I'm going to be tempted to try and just take the ports here. When did he buy a gold? No, he gained a gold. He didn't buy a gold, of course not. So I think I'll just take goons now. I must have the copper one alone now. Oh good, his catacombs drew dead. Well, still a pretty good turn. So there goes the ports. Those are all pretty nice, but they're not goons. Though it's not that much different to keep them and draw on. It's only 1 extra card. Basically, the only bad part of this draw is the well, there's a couple of bad things about this draw actually, but I'm not play the poacher yet. The bad part being that I played all the ports and didn't find the goons. Oh, I did. Wow, that was lucky. Okay. So that was very, very nice for me. I'm not really sure. I gotta buy 2 cards because I want an imp, but buying the poacher is not amazing. But it's still pretty okay. Good draws for my imp stuff so far. Quite nice. That last turn was definitely above average from what I can expect there. It's nice that he doesn't have lighthouses yet, or any imps. The imps, you know, if you draw one in your hand, you get to hit a port. Otherwise, the imps aren't going to hit necessarily that much. You still have trade routes and poachers, and I mean, there's a variety of things you can hit with it, so it's still pretty nice. But gonna want to watch the shuffle here. I may just have enough draw to actually get through it. Now, so it's maybe okay to play through the shuffle. What do I have left? Oh, I have 7 ports. I didn't know I had 7 ports. Okay, that's good. I still have 2 more imps. So I think I'm okay to play this as long as I this is just all fine. Still draws everything. So it looks very good for me. I'll get another imp this turn. There I fell below the copper line again. But that's not necessarily a big deal. Here at least I found the poacher. Not necessarily the card to find, but well, it's fine. I mean, there's no problems. I could score like 20 points on a turn if I need to. Pretty easily. I'm not sure how this game's gonna end. I think the Devil's Workshop is probably the least useful of these things. Now the least useful thing might be the second Goons. Let's see if we can find anything. No, we didn't find anything. Looks okay for the next shuffle anyway. I didn't get the lighthouse down. He didn't attack me, so that was pretty lucky. S, please. Yes, please. Sure, why not? I'm not gonna play the second lighthouse, of course. I could. I mean, I could play it and buy a lighthouse. I don't know. There may be something to set up port draws at some point. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to buy. That's one kind of hard part. Other than to just rebuy things as I trash them. Because at this point, all the imps were played for action, so I really only have room for one more terminal. Did he trash his necro ever? He still has his necro. I still have more villages, but like I can play the lighthouse and buy it another one. That's not like that great, but I can buy some poachers, but maybe just the poachers. I don't think I'm gonna go above 3 goons. I will go ahead and take an imp. Okay, so here I hit a duddy turn, and he's gonna go off a little bit here, but not in an especially exciting way. So he bought a silver, which didn't really do anything for him. Yeah, I'm just still not entirely sure how I finish here. I guess I did have one more action. If he draws here, his deck is so fat still. But he's going to get it cleaned up pretty good this turn, I suppose. Why am I able to see some of what he sees with the cat? Oh, that's the top card he's discarding. I see. That makes sense. I guess it makes sense. So I'm gonna get hit here. I'll just do it should really be the goons going down. What's the... Oh, he didn't even get to play goons. Never mind. He still has a lot of coppers and golds. Yeah, I'm not sure how the game ends, but there he got an imp. Yes, please. Probably get 4 goons. I think I had enough actions for that. I mean, I still have some imps too, right? So some of the imps were not being used or I wasn't imping literally every single terminal, so that's already all the ports, so no setup here. The lighthouses will be an option. They're low enough. I could look for a win next turn. That's a little risky. Well, it's not that risky. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, I don't know how much money I have this turn. Let's try and get 2 lighthouses down and buy one. Now the imps are maxed out. In fact, with the lighthouses down, it won't quite work. It's not clear even why I'm keeping the Devil's Workshop, actually, since I don't think I can actually use the imp. We'll see if he cares. I don't think I can really make use of extra imps. So I was not quite to a pile out. Well, I don't have anything like the money required to get the cards that are left, but I can certainly score a lot of points this turn, and he's not very likely to. But I could easily, well, maybe the board isn't easily, but I could definitely dud next turn, depending on the draws. So I do need 1 lighthouse for certain. I could get a couple silvers. It's just not clear to me whether I want to lower the piles. That much, because it's a little bit risky. I mean, it's basically just me being impatient with the game. It's not really reflective of a good play. I can buy 2 silvers and have like a huge points lead. I could buy a 3rd silver and have an even huger points lead. But I don't think I want to do that. Even this amount is pretty questionable. Though I didn't get burned immediately. Though I may get burned eventually. I don't think a goons even really does particularly anything for him there. This was the lucky draw. I probably will be able to finish here. Yeah, don't want those. I think I will have the money. I need the ports, of course. Okay. Oh, I still have this last one should have been the copper. I don't have to technically play the trader right, but I'm going to. How much money do I need to do this? 1523. I may not actually have the money. To quite get there. I guess I just shouldn't play the trader, right? Yeah, that gives me less money. Do I have enough though? 12. Yeah. This is enough money. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why I played the trader. That was stupid. But discard lighthouse is still enough money. So, I had good draws. Not maybe the cleanest play through the end from me. But I guess we got it done. Another big engine. I was kind of looking at Masquerade, but then I noticed Donate. Charm is probably going to be pretty useful. I really don't know how to build these kinds of decks, though, or how to order this. I mean, you basically want to have 5 actual dollars in your deck and a charm. Right? And then get, like, I don't know, Charm Wharf on that next turn. Which to me implies like a silver Donate opening. But I guess potentially could be faster to do silver than Donate. And just have the 2 silvers and the 1 copper instead of the silver and the 3 coppers. I don't think you really... Well, he might get some of the other 5s, the minions or the cartographer. Charm doesn't play that well with Throne, but that's fine, you just buy Thrones. What I mean is it doesn't on this board because the other 4s are not that good. But I don't think Hermit or Masker Tracker are going to be that important. You might get Masquerade later just to maybe scare them a little bit, but I'm not going to waste a buy on it unless there's sort of a loose buy, and I think I can afford the actions because I have enough Thrones. You can really be heavy in Wharves and Charms with a, with the appropriate balance of with the appropriate balance of the throne rooms or whatever. He banquets. You can banquet for a charm. That's also a trick. I didn't even think about banquet. Yeah, I can see that. It doesn't... You still need a silver, though, right? I don't know why you would banquet for a wharf, but... You could banquet charm. I'm afraid I don't quite see the wharf by, but maybe it's okay. Let me think. Now that I realize banquet's on the board, or like now that I realize banquet exists. I hate donate games. I don't really hate them, but they're kind of... I don't like to have to feel like I can figure things out. I would rather just guess. So, if I banquet for a charm, I banquet for a second charm, and then donate turn 3 no matter what I draw. Whatever, let's try it. I'm gonna do this. Oh, you have pouch. I don't think that'll matter, but... Oh, it does matter because I can... Oh, it's really much better to draw your pouch second turn. Well, depending on what you want to do, but... Yeah, I can donate immediately. Though I will have some debt to pay. I don't get the wharf. Like, I just fully don't get the wharf. If you're gonna donate, it doesn't make any sense to me. Someone can explain it if there's a reason, but I just fully don't understand it. So I could donate now down to that whatever, 3 copper hand. Could banquet for a charm and donate. I'm gonna be 2 turns paying it off. Well, depending on what I keep, right, I might be able to buy something my second turn. Do I just want 2 coppers? I guess. It's nice that he drew his wharf, I guess. Not really. I mean, it's not even like good for him. I mean, it's just... No, you would rather draw the second turn. So here I'll have 7 again. I can buy a wharf. Or I could gain 2 4s, which is no good. I could go with a 3rd charm. I think I would like to get the wharf down now, though. Or if I can. So I failed to draw a wharf. He is first player, so he's a little bit ahead of me. Oh, he did keep enough. Right, that's kind of nice. It would have been way nicer for me to get to the it would have been way nicer for me to find the wharf. Like, another wharf now is almost doesn't do anything. Did he play his wharf last time? Yeah, this is gonna be... He'd probably run away with this one. I could do minion now, or cartographer, rather than wharf. Since I know I have the wharf, but I don't think it's... I don't know that it makes a huge difference. I guess the thing to get would be the minion. Most likely. Not that I particularly want them, but they're at least silver equivalents. Maybe it's the cartographer. The attack just won't ever matter. I mean, it's basically just a $5 silver. I will, if I don't draw the minion in the 4 hands and I draw it dead, in which case it helps me not at all. If I do draw it, it might let me buy a throne as well. So we'll try it, although it's likely to just be sad. Oh, it was just never happening because I wasn't going to have enough draw. Now it's potentially, I was just like way off on what was going on in my deck. I potentially here could not even hit 5 charm. Well, no, that's not true. There's 2 charms left in the deck, so hopefully the minion's bottom deck, though. I guess the cartographer isn't really any better in that respect, other than it would have guaranteed, if I had drawn the cartographer in hand, it would have guaranteed I find the 3 charms. But it's not especially exciting otherwise. So I'm not going to have the throne room money here. He might. I don't know. Probably not, but I guess depending on how many charms I draw here, it's either going to be Wharf Charm or Wharf Double Charm. Could be Wharf Charm Cartographer. Maybe that. Maybe that one. I'm sure there's cleaner ways to do this. Just like strictly superior ways to do this. He can get 3 5s off this. It's kind of nice to play with the, I guess the way he did it, to play with enough coppers so that all the charms go to work. I'm still skeptical that the wharf start is the way to do it, but certainly the turns would look quite a bit different if I had found my wharf on that one turn. But that's just how it goes. So he just decides he really wants a throne room, I guess. since he's not gaining the 5s. If I were him, I would have probably been okay with taking taking cartographer and charms, or you know, whatever mix of those. But he might be right to get the throne in. I have to assume that's what he's doing. Otherwise, otherwise the charm power just gets you more value. But if you want the throne room, then this is the thing to do. That being said, I would think the buys are pretty clear to get charm and throne room, although you might get a cartographer. I wouldn't get a minion as him. I shouldn't have got a minion, but done is done. Yeah, I like those buys. I did get lucky, which is my preferred way of doing business. I could have gone Throne Wharf, I guess, but I'm gonna need some thrones, of course, as well. Maybe the play for me was to go Throne Minion as well. I mean, here I can force bottom 2. I'm gonna have to minion to get to it, which is not what I want to do. This minion should really not be in my deck. It should really not be in the deck. Looks like he's going for the throne in a, well, of course, I mean, he's gonna do that. That's definitely the best thing to do. So yeah, about me being an idiot. So this is super bad. Super duper bad. I can't even, like, it's just really bad. In case you didn't hear, it's really bad. So I can get more charms. I can have a big old charm split. Which I don't hate having that. It's not gonna make the difference, but I'm not even sure it's really that much of a charm split. He'll probably get the last ones, and then that's even, right? Yeah. So I'm in a bit of trouble, to put it mildly. Sure, he'll take a throne room. guess if I'm extraordinarily lucky, I will draw 2 charms. That doesn't look like 2 charms. I'm just saying, from what I can tell, that was not 2 charms. Do I want a like a horse traders with my? That seems. It seems like the answer to that question would be no. I could get a tracker. That also, this seems like the answer to that is no. This is the worst 2 cards I could have drawn with the Wharf. By a good amount. Now I've got a minion in here and like another charm maybe. I really needed not to draw the throne room, actually, is what I needed not to draw, but that's okay. That's life. Because I needed to like actually win the charm split. That was my only way in. I assume he's not going to leave the 2 charms in now, though he might. I needed to be able to do a big duchy thing to kind of threaten 3 piles, and also just that would be my way of scoring. But he may just have like double province enough times. Now he's like super way overdrawing, but I would certainly get the rest of the charms if I were him. Yeah. I mean, I was not gonna have I would have really needed to draw the 2 charms. That's not true. A copper would have been fine, but I needed a really lucky draw. So we'll see what he does. If he doesn't get the last 2 charms, I'm kind of interested in playing it out. Although it's hopeless, but I guess I have a Wharf and a minion. Those are my cards. So I'll be able to, I think those are my cards. I don't know. So I'll be able to, I guess, top deck a couple treasures at least. Huh, he didn't get the charms again. I do find that very, very strange, to be honest. I drew a charm. That's excellent. I guess I'll just draw the pouch. Leave that throne room. I mean, I know if I were playing Marcus, then we wouldn't have this charm situation on our hands. I got Throne and Cartographer in there. That's good. I don't really have... Oh yeah, I guess I can do it this way and still... I could do Wharf. That's probably a little better than a Cartographer this turn, since I am going to Throne. I don't have another Wharf, right? Wharf double charm throne, and I'm going to throw in a cartographer. I may be able to find the... I still kind of can't believe he didn't get more of the charms. So I have 7 charms now. Which is always a great number of charms to have when you can potentially play all of them. I won't be able to this turn, but the following. It's a real thing. He didn't get that much wharf action down this turn. They're also very good for estate pileouts. Not unbelievable, but still quite nice for that. Let's see what he buys. I kind of expect him to take some points now. I did get a wharf, right? Yeah, okay. Depending on how exactly he lowers piles, I just have better 3-pile threat. If he greens, I'm gonna have to set up for the duchy pile the next turn. I don't think he could possibly have a finish now. Banquet might be nice to finish the piles. I kind of expect him to just double province or something. Have like a couple throne rooms left in hand. Is that how that went down? I'm trying to think through my turn. As to whether I ever need to throne here. I don't think I do. I don't think that ever helps me. I only have 2 wharfs left, right? So, and the minions already. It would only matter if the minion weren't already in hand. I guess there are cartographers left as well, so it can potentially. It can potentially matter. I have a 3rd throne room. I really need to find the wharves, and then I think I'll draw fine, so. So I discarded 3 cards. Now I don't have to discard, I can just rearrange. Although, of course, I'll discard the copper. I do want to Throne a Wharf. But can I just Throne a minion now for cash? Do I need to Throne the Cartographer is the question. So I have 4 cards in the discard, so I Throne a Wharf and draw. Quite a few of those. The Cartographer. I think I don't need to Throne the Cartographer. I think I can Throne the minion. And maybe that's not true, but it's probably not true. Oh well. Okay. So it was definitely not true. So I did fail to draw one's charm because of that. That being said, how many games do I have? I can do like 6 duchies. That's not enough points. Because I have to do a 3 pile too is the problem. So 16. How much? If I just do cash, I have 12, 18. That's not going to cut anything. If I do a wharf, I mean, obviously I don't want to give him a pile out either. He's going to be able to do the estates pretty easily. Well, he didn't get that much down this turn either. So he could have a sad hand. Well, these are definitely going to be themselves. I gotta score some. Probably involves buying 1 province. That was loud. My computer's beeping at me. So I'm gonna need $8, and then probably some other dollars. I would really like to not give him a pile out, because I'm not going to catch him in points this turn. So I don't want to set one of those up. 16, 31. Okay, that's way too much. Well, that's a little less. 16, 20. Well, even all of them are less. So, but $21 for a banquet pile out for him. I don't think he has that much in his deck. So if I go there, is province double duchy okay? Oh. I forgot to buy first there. So I'm drawing 6 cards, right? So probably okay, but I have a lot of junk, so hopefully I find an action. If not, I'll just cry, I guess. I hope I didn't set up a finish for him, but I feel like that's pretty expensive. It would be an estate war finish, I guess, if it was going to happen. But I don't think it'll happen, but it might. So it would probably be like double banquet 8 estates, I guess. That's pretty hard to do. Maybe there's another finish that I'm just not seeing, but I don't think so. He can double province again, maybe, but I'll be able to. If I draw, I'll be able to outscore that. I may not draw also because I have to find an action card to get started. Oh, he just doesn't have anything. Okay, this looks pretty good for me then. Obviously, as I've said a few times now, I need to actually draw. So he donates. That's interesting. Now I can take the estate pile out possibly because it's a little less tricky than counting the charms. I found the wharf. That's super lucky. And I found a cartographer. That's super lucky too. And a wharf. Okay, so I just am going to draw deck now. Because I was very, very lucky. Well, here, I can like leave a cartographer on top maybe. I don't think it matters because so I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 19, which is not the. What do I need? $8 to get to the 19 anyway. Doesn't do the estate. You need 22 for the estate. Okay, so that's not on the cards. They don't have to worry about that. The banquet would be 8. Banquet for wars and duchies would, or I might be able to just do the wharf. What did 6, 18, 20? What do I have? 19. I could take a tie here for sure. There's already a tie I can see, which is throne rooms and stuff. Throne rooms and wharfs. Banqueting for all of those gives a tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 14. It's 19. Okay, so that one's not that great. 6 duchies is okay. I can also do 5 duchies and 2 wars. Five duchies and 2 wars is a good deal of points. Or sorry, 1 war, 5 duchies is a good deal of points. Or 6 duchies. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Let's just go with that one. Basically I'm a buck short of the finish. Unless there's some other way to finish that I'm just not seeing. Double province is also okay. Like, it's double province is probably totally safe for me too, because of I don't know exactly what he's got in his deck, but anyway, this seems fine, so I'll probably just do it. And I'll pick up an estate too, of course. And then basically next turn I just have to buy a banquet, which is more or less impossible for me not to draw that into that. I just don't know if he can score enough to pass me. With 5 dead, I am very skeptical that he could do that. I mean, he just can't, right? There's no way. And in fact, he has less money in his deck than he did before. I think he did actually really misplay by not getting the rest of the charms. The couple turns he had a chance to. But anyway, I was fortunate. The draws at the end were much better for me than him, but this is just like, he can't use the charms to score anymore. So they're basically like silvers in his deck now. And he has 5 debt, so this just is resignable. There's no way I'll fail to hit banquet. He doesn't even have. He could just buy the banquet for me, save us the time. So I do think he was in a winning position for that game. Whoops. So I don't know, what do we want to do for a 5-minute break, guys? I got lucky on my last turn, not my last turn, but my second to last turn to find something with my thrones there. So I would have been... He still, all he could do on his turn was buy a province, so even if I don't find something with the thrones, I still probably get quite a number of duchies. A handful anyway. I mean, the problem if I don't find it, like any wharves, then my next turn of course sucks, because the thrones are out of it. But the donate there for him just is not doing anything. It was pretty sad for him to get his turn where he only played 1 wharf after he played 3 wars, basically. I may be missing additional considerations. Marcus would get the charms. He wouldn't leave those around. Duchy piles with charms are really fun, actually. So, charm is a great card. I love it. It's really interesting. There's probably a clean... I'm sure there's a clean build to get that deck running better than probably either of us did it. Certainly better than the way I did it in the start. So, I guess I've clinched a position in the championship now. Remains to be seen who my opponent is. It can be Psychomatic, it could be Marcus. It's more likely to be Marcus. That'll be our third meeting in a row. They might as well just send us straight there. That's a joke. This time I'm not going to be behind him, so I'm not sure if I'll know how to play it. But anyway, every game I win against Honda here makes it a little bit easier for me in the finals, potentially requiring a 6-0 from my opponent. Though that's not that likely. I would have to like 6-0 Honda for that to be the case. Marcus just said he wasn't into charms there as much, so he betrayed my perception of him. I was misrepresenting his position, though he did say he would take the last one. So we're having a text voice conversation. Wow. I hope we can play the finals this Sunday. I mean, probably the following weekend works as well for me, most likely. I just prefer to schedule them when I know. But since we don't know who I'm playing yet, it's not that easy to do. Even though you could probably anyway, this is the scheduling strategy. This is the least interesting commentary anyone has ever provided. So you could ferry Torturer. Though of course that's not going to. It's gonna be a little hard to play this one. I'm almost thinking Fairy Soothsayer, which you would only buy a couple, I guess, but they might be pretty good. I guess what I'm questioning is whether you'll be able to pull off the encampment deck or not, which seems you might be able to with a crypt. You might be able to with a crypt. Artisan is not that good, excepting sort of timing your crypts. It's kind of good for that. And then if you were getting, well, if we get down to the plunders, I mean, you can gain torturers too. So Artisan is not unreasonable of a buy. I don't think I'm going to ferry it. I think I'm going to, you could ferry Artisan. Well, it doesn't work on the 3-4 or the 4-3, which is what I have. So I'm going to try the Soothsayer. I don't necessarily know that that's correct, but in any case, it seems like a reasonable opening. Here, of course, I'll buy an encampment. You're not going to pass on the encampment, and it might survive. You might be lucky enough to have it survive. So, the other question then is like, how soon do you start with the crypts and or the torturers? Since I do have 5 here, it's a little tempting to get a crypt, even though it's somewhat likely to not do that much for me. The other thing to buy would be a second Soothsayer. So I'm going to do the Soothsayer, though I'm not like 100% on that anyway. I'm not going to, my encampment's not going to make it, so either I'm going to not play the encampment, or I'm going to, well, it depends on what I draw it with. So islands will be good too. Okay, so this isn't too bad. We'll see if he hits me with the Soothsayer now. I'm gonna hold the encampment here. Actually, I'm not sure. It's basically whether I want to play 2 curses to him. Let's curse him. So I change my tune. Here the encampment lives, and I can buy a Grand Market. It would have been interesting maybe to ferry the Grand Markets at some point. It may still be interesting to ferry the Grand Markets or the encampments at some point. Just a question of what to do. Would love to get a big did I buy an Artisan? I did buy an Artisan. Okay. The Artisan looks like it's hiding. You would really love to get the Artisan after a ferry, after they play Soothsayer a time or two, so you can play the Artisan to gain a crypt, set aside a whole bunch of treasure, and hopefully like at least a couple gold so that your encampments are safe. The other nice Artisan target is Island here, but crypt is probably the number 1. He gets to keep his encampment, so we each have 1. I'm gonna say buying the encampments is better than the ferry here, although I'm not confident. He might get a nice crypt, which I would be very jealous of. like would be extraordinarily jealous of a nice crypt here. Because I double Seuss. It was basically the exact scenario I described, only for him. So that could be a game-winning kind of thing, depending on. Yeah, that's really, really excellent. That's probably. I mean, it's not over if I get a sort of a counter crypt, I guess you would call it. It does not look like I am getting that kind of quality of a crypt, so that's very possibly a game-winning kind of draw there. I'm going to do 3 for sure, but it's still not that amazing. So I do get the encampment split, I guess. This crypt still is kind of sucky. Well, 3 is reasonable. Obviously, I would have liked better, but so there's the curse is gone. We split them. Now the he's probably gonna fairy grand markets. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I don't know. I don't know if the gold is actually any good for me now. Probably they're okay. You get Fairy Islands also, or as a nice finishing move, definitely. So I could Fairy Torturers. Could just buy a plunder. Plunder points won't be bad at all. It's maybe more of a thing you artisan. I guess I could buy the island. He's getting a grand market now. That was not ideal. That's a little more gold than I want to see. Maybe a lot more gold than I want to see. I'm not even sure if I want to play this encampment. That was probably all the golds. There might be one more. This is... I'll do one of them. Okay, so I'm just super lucky. Better lucky than good every single time. So, question is whether I want the crypt now or whether I want the grand market. I think it's just got to be the crypt. I would have, of course, loved to get more treasure, but anyway. I think I'll take a... It's got to be down to plunder or torture, I think. I'm a little over terminal, but I don't have to play... I don't have to play the Soothsayers. They're not like key to play, so... In fact, I think they're probably past their expiration date at this point. Just get the copper. I say that, but then I continue to play them, so I should probably... The deck's such a mess, it's not actually clear that that's even true, but... we're pretty close to piles eventually. probably a gold can't hurt. I mean, it seems hard for it to be bad. So my other crypt is already back in the deck, I guess. Oof, yuck. Gross. Gross. Probably play a plunder. Well, his hand wasn't good either, so. Well, I don't know how much, oh, he top decked the crypt. Or didn't. Okay, so he gets that now. That's pretty nice. Let's just save the gold. Even though there's probably golds in there for the, whatever they're called. So the question is whether I want to top deck Grand Market or get a plunder. I guess I'm going to top deck the Grand Market. Not real sure of that one, but well, I hope I have an encampment in on the top of my deck here. You probably buy an island, yeah. Nope. Okay, hope I don't draw them. Well, we got 1 copper out of it anyway. That's not too bad. It's a good crypt turn, for sure. And there are definitely encampments left. Do I need a province? Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and I generally speaking prefer to do this surprise sort of thing later on, but it's not really a surprise unless they haven't thought of it, but sometimes people haven't thought of it. But I'm going to do it now because I have the money to do it now, so. I do have good crypt set up now. We'll see if he does a similar thing or if he just buys the island. He buys a duchy. I'm gonna save the golds. I don't know if I have any grand markets in here. Nope. Pretty sad that didn't hit encampment with the torture. It's not likely, but it's still sad from my perspective. We may just end up running down these provinces. We've got so much golds in the deck, it's pretty easy to do it. Now I will take a gold because I'm running out of time. Nothing doing there. So I'm going to whiff here. Presumably he'll just get it on his next turn. Seems like a safe assumption. Like, I assume he'll just be able to buy province. Maybe not, but what do I top deck? Nothing here is like useful, so it doesn't actually matter. But presumably the Soothsayer is the thing to actually top deck. I never, like I said, that big crypt. No, he'll just have it now. That big crypt is always going to make a huge difference how early you get that. Oh, he didn't actually have it. Okay. Well, shoot. Still, if I don't have a encampment on top here, it's not going to suddenly happen. Oh, man. Though if I had an encampment on top, it might have. Where are my encampments? Can I tie? Am I first player? Well, shoot, I don't want to be first player. I want to take a tie. There's not some trick, right, to... dang it. Double Dutchy. He's not going to pile on me. Did he crypt or anything? He didn't crypt. Well, if he didn't have it here, I'm going to have a finish, but he'll have it now. He's got so much gold. He can gain a venture or plunder and surely just win. Maybe he didn't have the money at all. I guess he didn't, because otherwise he would have gone for the venture or the plunder. Well, I'm going to get it this turn for sure. That's not actually true. No, it is true. Never mind, I already have it in hand. I should stop playing things. I just want the golds. So I was very, very lucky that he never was able to... His last hand must have had just no money in it, and otherwise he would have... you would go for an artisan on a plunder or venture. I mean, you'd do it on a venture, of course, but... Well, that was weird. That was a weird game. Not sure what to say about that one. So... This has got to be like a chapel... well, I guess you could do a sentry if you have the 3. If you have this. I can do a chapel sentry opening. Then you would buy a gladiator probably. Buy minions. You don't have to do those specific buys. You could... I mean, I think if your buys are anything around Chapel, Minion, Sentry, Gladiator, Ironmonger, you're probably in okay. Or doing okay as far as what your buys look like. Certainly the fastest way to get thin is to do a Sentry Chapel opening. Though it may get you a little thinner than you need. Really. I mean, not exactly. I'm not sure that makes any sense. So I do have a copper, which is probably fine. You don't, like I said, you don't have to get the Sentry or the Chapel. Either one, technically. You could pair Minion with Chapel, or you could pair, I would think you could pair like Gladiator with Sentry or Ironmonger with it or something. Well, Ironmonger you can't do, but so he buys Ironmonger. I think that's fine too. I do. I really hope I don't draw I would like to buy Silver Gladiator here, so hopefully we don't find the thing first. Since I do have the Chapel, I'm trying to think. My next hand, for sure I'm just trashing 4 or 3. It's not going to make a huge difference whether I get Gladiator. If they collide, it's not a big deal. I have 2 coppers after this play. The big difference is that I may not be able to make a buy next turn. No, I will. I have a bit of a problem with this Sentry, but I guess you always can make a pretty decent buy because of the I have 2 coppers left. If he gets 2 estates here, I've got a guaranteed Gladiator hit. If he doesn't, then I probably have a guaranteed Gladiator miss. I guess I can buy minion either way. I can borrow for it. So I will. Now I won't have to. I guess we're just going to buy minions and then provinces. Like, it's not... There's not really much you can do besides that. I'm sure he'll buy minion now. I'll be totally clean, though I need to... Well, I need to either keep a copper or buy a silver, I guess, is the way to look at that. Well, I can borrow for it, so I don't have to do either of those things, really. We're not going to have very exciting rounds here. I'm going to be able to do guaranteed Gladiator hits because I have the Sentry. He's an Ironmonger, so that is a thing too. Well, this is fine, of course. I just have to decide whether I want to keep the copper or not. Or whether I want to borrow for a silver. I guess if I trash the copper, then he'll have guaranteed Gladiator hits on coppers. Does Ironmonger do much? Does silver do much? Probably not. Silver may let me attack, I guess. Is the thing silver might let me do. Though if he borrows, then it just doesn't work anyway. I don't know if I'm ahead to the point where I want the fortune to come out or not. I don't have $8 yet, so that's certainly not the thing necessarily. I am thinner first. Got a little bit of money here. I mean, I'm sure this is just a minion buy. Well, he may be trashing, actually. I'm totally trashed. He's got 4 coppers, so that's a thing. We're definitely going to get to fortune. just because people are going to have to play gladiators, and sometimes they're going to succeed. Sometimes the opponent may want them to succeed. So I guess here he's just trashing. He's not going to be able to buy a minion. If he doesn't borrow, I could attack him because I got this sentry. So I can hit 5 for sure. I can always hit 5 because borrow. I keep forgetting that. Oh, he's going to get there with a minion. That's nice. So the Ironmongers did get him up to the minion. He didn't even have to keep the copper. Oh yeah, he did, because he had to get the reveal in. I don't know if an attack even helps me particularly. I mean, it might. So now he's just got 1 copper. I got a silver. I can't buy the thing, or can I? I can borrow for it. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can borrow for it. I guess I'll do that. Get the fortune. I'll get a gold too, maybe. Well, I'll have to. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm glad I didn't attack him, but I'm not actually 100% sure that's right, but it seems, seems reasonable. Of course, he's going to be able to get one too, but now the Ironmongers are fairly sad. Here I'm basically just paying off debt. I guess borrow doesn't work with fortune. When I bought it, I was kind of thinking it did, but it does not. So it's a little. This is not quite, but close to. No, it is. Swapping gold for gladiator is also equally bad, but this is more or less the worst hand I could draw for money this time. Well, that's not actually true. The fortune. If you swap the fortune for like the gold, that would be worse. Anyway, I'm gonna pay the debt off, but not have a useful buy. I think. I have $10. I can have $11, which is still not a useful buy. Like, I don't think I can maybe get Native Village. It might work with Sentry later on, though it's pretty out there. It's not impossible though. We'll see if he takes the fortune. He might not. I mean, he may just buy the whatever. I can't actually decide on the Native Village. Of course, it gets in the way a little bit, but in theory, I can set aside nice things. Like if the chapel is not my top card here, it's going to possibly do something nice for me. So we'll see. He may crank out enough cash here. He may crank out enough cash here to make a buy as well. Don't know if he'll quite have that much, but he could potentially attack me too. So I mean, what's he got? He's got another minion. He got Fortune and Gladiator Chapel. Well, something like that. I wonder if he's gonna spin me. No, he doesn't spin me. So yeah, he definitely is making he's gonna get a minion out of this too, which is great for him. That didn't really matter. Oh yeah, it did matter. He's gonna get 2 minions out of that. That's a really nice turn. That's gonna be a little bit hard to possibly come back from. I guess I can get double minion easy. Whether I want to trash a silver this turn, maybe the thing to do, maybe not. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I assume he's gonna spin here. Though maybe if Fury has the Fortune in hand, it just, he doesn't. Okay. I don't know if you do a third Fortune or a second Fortune. I mean, I guess you could play for Vineyards here. Doesn't really go that well with anything. I could take a second Fortune. It won't be that great. He's gonna win the split, the minion split. Which isn't too surprising he went first. There's certainly this turn where he got the 2 minions after he took the debt was, I think, lucky. I think it was pretty lucky that the Ironmongers both produced coin. Though there are probably some other draws where he gets it just because he had 2 minions. But I think that was that was probably a turning point that was maybe a little above average draws for him. Not that I can speak about that too much today. I'm gonna take the 2 minions. I mean, he can have the. I mean, I understand he's just basically saying that he's satisfied taking the split. And he's gonna get the buy. But I'm happy to get the second minion and sort of make my way maybe back into the game. I don't know if I should play the sentry or just toss now. Basically, the only upside is if I draw a minion. Realistically, Or I guess if I drew native village and there was a chapel on top, then that would also be okay. So there are a couple outs on this century draw that wouldn't be too bad. Well, and of course just the control. We'll just do it. So this isn't actually really what I want, but actually this is fine. If I'm only aiming for well, I have to find the fortune again, but I can always just discard it until I find it, right? If I'm just aiming for 10, there's no like way for me to miss it. I could have double promised right then too. That was a consideration anyway. I don't think I really want to do it, but I don't know if he'll be able to. He got another gold, I assume. I don't know if he'll ever get to triple province. That would be kind of hard for him to get there. Not impossible, but anyway, I'm fine with doubling this next turn. I assume. Okay, so never mind. He will probably be able to triple at some point. He could go like double Sentry or double Ironmonger now. He's just going to have a lot more threat than me. Well, a little bit. You have an extra cane. No, I don't think I want to. So he gets an Ironmonger. I think that's fine. The Ironmonger. I do need to get to the fortune. I guess that's more or less guaranteed. I could still win. I mean, there's going to be some shuffles going on here, so people can still shuffle out. I wonder if, well, it's not like better to borrow unless you need the cash. Of course, it can make you avoid the, this is a pretty nice Ironmongers. Let's see if he doubles. If he triples, that's going to be just, you know, game. I can play the native village now because it's the fortune's not in there. So it's actually, I can play it and set something aside. It's safe to do that. Relatively safe to do that anyway. I will, if I get my draw, I will probably just take the double province and hope he can't. I guess we got a Dutchy dance. That's fine, I can Dutchy dance. I get impatient, but I suppose it's probably best for me to Dutchy dance. since I don't have any particular advantage in duchy dancing other than the native village and a little less treasure. He's got the gains, which help somewhat. So he province duchies or province double duchies, and then I don't know what I do. I mean, he must be. Well, he has that other fortune. I keep forgetting he has 2 fortunes. So I've got Gladiator, Minion, and Province as my bottom 3. I mean, if he just straight Province is here, then I will for sure take a tie. I mean, there's no way I would try to not take a tie there. With that, I guess I'll follow, and I will definitely set something aside. So I set something good aside, but that just means, I guess, later on that I might have some sort of advantage. I guess we play the center now. Okay, yeah, this just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, just gonna have those 4 anyway. I could, of course, double province just can't possibly work unless I like already knew he was dudded, because double province means he just needs 1 province and he wins. Of course, if if he double provinces, I'm going to be toast anyway, right? Like, if I double duchy now, I get up to 18. If he double provinces, then at that point, I'm not going to catch him. I'll be short. So I don't think double duchy makes any sense. Probably double province or province duchy doesn't especially make sense either. But I think that's probably what I have to buy. That's when I would go to 20, or sorry, if I double duchy, I'd go to 18. Then if he province duchy, or if he double province, you go to 33. Yeah, it just doesn't work. I just have to hope he doesn't get there. Though he will. I mean, he will for sure. Not really for sure, but this is a pretty reasonably good hand for me. Maybe he just already has the gold. Surely he has it in hand, right? I don't know. So he's only got 4. He's got to toss again to try and find gladiator or gold, I guess, or something. I guess his thing is, even if he's shy, even if he's short double province, he can province duchy and I can still just take a tie like this. And in fact, potentially, well, yeah, I mean, there are some draws where he gets province duchy estate also. Then I just can't win unless he duds totally. There's some draws for that as well, which maybe he has that in hand. Like if he has a golden hand, well, if he has a golden hand, then it's just done. But well, he would need the fortune. But yeah. Anyway, there are some draws where if he produces $7, then new fortunes to 14, then you borrow to 15, which gets him province, duchy, estate if he has the two fortunes, of course, also. And then I have to just double duchy and wait and hope he does. I don't know how long ago he typed that. I wonder if he's gonna. What did we go? Oh, he just went back to the chat, right? So he's gonna maybe trash something with the chapel. Is he gonna trash like a fortune or a duchy or trashing a duchy would be really. You could trash a gold maybe, but well, that's strange. I think. I mean, maybe it works out for him. That that's not going to help him. That's going to really probably just give it to me. I thought maybe he'd trash the duchy, which wouldn't have been quite so severe. I don't think you can afford to trash a province. Because it just puts you in such a bad position if you don't. Like, now I have a points lead? Like, that's crazy. Like, I could just buy province here and it would be nearly very safe. I'm not going to do that, but like if I just buy province now, he can catch me still, but it's hard. But anyway, so I'll get my gladiator back. See if he blocks. He does not. I think I want the minion in the deck. I don't think I want to play the first one for cash. Because even like province duchy now for me is like extremely safe. So I want to make sure I get to the fortune, which means leaving the minion. Ooh. Okay. I did make it just because of that. Barely made it. Alright, well, the golden fortune are in here. I nearly dudded. I didn't, but I very nearly dudded. Okay, I did not expect to win that one. I don't think I can get behind the chaplain of the province. I understand what he was going for, but I think when he's in the lead, as he was, you just play it safer. Like he didn't have to finish it right now. It wasn't like my deck had better capabilities. I mean, okay, my deck was cleaner, but That's about all you could say for my deck. So this is a big highway thing. Summon is quite nice. I'm gonna do Urchin. I think you just have to. You could buy Sea Hag, it would be awful. I hate Sea Hag. I don't hate Sea Hag, but I don't think it's very good here. So I'm gonna Urchin and then probably Dungeon. Probably not third Urchin on reshuffle. Probably preferentially go for Dungeons. Maybe Dungeon Silver if I hit 3 twice. 2s are pawns, easy just because of the buy later on. There's plenty of cantrips to summon here, so you can get a little bit of village effects throughout the game. Though maybe eventually you just summon Hunting Grounds, which is almost, since technically your extra terminals are mostly pawns, quote unquote terminals are pawns. You're probably better off summoning Hunting Grounds and then just playing the pawn's action by, later on, if you get to that point. Butcher I'll play with for sure. And then just highways, lots of highways. Labs. Play with everything but Pirate Ship and Sea Hag, and probably not Sacrifice, but Basilica points should start going pretty fast when we get those highways going. I'm not gonna we'll probably 3 piles, so the Basilica points could end up being important, but I would rather him do Sea Hag than Urchin, but Sea Hag opening could quite hurt the Urchin if the top deck stuff is mean. But I would rather he get the Sea Hag because I think it's worse. not because I'm rooting for him or anything. So what did I say? I said I would buy a Dungeon. So I think I better follow through with my promises. I've got a chance of hitting here 50-50 at this point. If I did, I would of course be just super happy. He does hit. I expect him to buy a Dungeon. I miss, which makes me want to get the second Urchin now, actually. Or the third Urchin, just to not miss again, basically. I don't hate Silver, Urchin, or Dungeon in this position, so any of those seem reasonable to me. Hope I find my Dungeon. I do not. I will buy another one now, though. He's probably going to get a Mercenary in this turn. I guess this is an okay shuffle to trigger. The bad thing would be if I find the Mercenary, right? If I play Urchin and then Dungeon, I probably won't have cards to trash. So I can just toss the Urchin and just play the Dungeon. I think is reasonable. I hope he didn't get to his Mercenary, but he probably maybe isn't the word, but a good chance he did. First 5 is going to be huge. To get one of these cards that is pseudo economy, highway, lab, or butcher. Well, only the lab is pseudo economy. Draw is as good as economy here. I guess you'd probably go with the highway. You'd probably take the butcher after you're more or less satisfied playing your mercenaries. I have to assume he has the mercenary in hand, otherwise I would think the choice here is trivial. Maybe he has another dungeon in hand. That's the only other thing that you could be like thinking about. Unless he's just thinking about the buy before he discards for whatever reason. But like if you're the mercenary, you might have some choices. I'm not sure. It must have been the dungeon. You would have played the mercenary, so I say it must have been the dungeon. Like I said, it could have been the. It could have just been the thinking about the buy before you discard it. I don't. Most people don't do that, but sometimes people do. I don't have a silver. I do have 2 dungeons. I don't know if a third is gonna. It's gonna be a little hard to. Get to 5. Possibly. I have to toss the dungeon because I have to play the mercenary. Like there's no choice. He got a pawn, that's okay for the points, I guess. I feel like the 5s are going to be so hard to hit that it's worth it. I don't know that that's true, but I'm willing to at least try it. This was pretty sad to not to have the estate, but he gets another pawn, that's fine. Probably he gets a mercenary play in now. No, he doesn't. Okay, so that's really nice. Please find something. Just not an estate. Do I want the second mercenary? I think I'm going to take it. Now, I'm going to summon, actually. He's getting more Basilica points. That's fine. I'm going to summon the pawn, I think. I want to increase my hand size a little bit. I could summon sacrifice at some point. That might be a thing. I don't know what cards I have left. 2 dungeons and a mercenary. And potentially I just draw nothing. That would be really sad. But it could happen. I might take okay, so I think the rest of these are all draw of some sort. I think I'm going to summon again. It's unfortunate we found the mercenary. Of course. He's getting those, he bought a copper. That's awful. You should just, who cares about the points? That's not good. You don't want to do that. Well, it was unfortunate that we had the silver with the mercenary. Additional mercenary play, of course, would have been fine. I could do a sacrifice. I'm not going to, but just pointing out if that's true that I could. This is nice. I get to pawn and then dungeon, so I do get to. Now you can't mercenary. I do get to trigger shuffle before I dungeon, which is nice. He's gonna have a hard time getting to 5, I think. I hope, anyway. We may not find a mercenary, but we gotta play for one, I think. Okay. This is my last estate. He's got a lot of points. I don't think that matters, but he does have them. I would like to get to the dungeon if possible. Okay. And then this would be pretty much full clean. Pretty much, I get one more mercenary trash in there. So now we can do a highway, I think. We can, oh, we still have 2 coppers, okay. 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 I think trashing is going to be so awkward here that I'm not going to even attempt it. I'm going to try and summon something useful, which means getting to the highway. Well, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to afford summon, but you get the idea. Well, I couldn't almost afford it. Depending on what I draw, I can just do a... It would be nice to have an urchin at least. It would be bad to draw another mercenary, but... So we're not there since we played the dungeon. I would like to attack him though, so... He doesn't have a dungeon in play. He's at 3 coppers and an estate still. I can do card coin, which has some odds of getting me to a 4 and possibly a 5. But no dice. So I didn't get to the summon, but I can take a pawn. Which is not like amazing, but I think here I probably need to do the trashing. I maybe should have stopped at a point where I had I can again skip the... Since I have the urchin already, I'm going to play around that. Which means I really shouldn't have lost the silver, but... I need to like summon laboratory to finish this stuff up. I really shouldn't have lost the silver. Okay, so... there's still more pawns. May not get it again. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. The sequence, I needed to find the highway much earlier so I could play one of the pawns for money, but anyway, that's life. If I hadn't done the silver thing stupidly, then it would have made a difference. But so, what did he do on his last turn? He just bought a highway. Yeah, that's fine. You can do whatever. I'm gonna finish cleaning because this is just silly to not. I can't keep not being clean. It was like my big advantage, and then I kind of wasted several turns just not getting much done. I'm gonna try and keep mercenary attacking him, I think. Maybe not. See, he gets a lab now, I suppose. That was a pretty fortunate draw for him. He ought to do a lab. It's like easy lab summon. I don't know. He's still, I can lose a silver probably. Is probably okay. It's not going to hurt him a huge amount because he does have this summoned lab coming in, but it does something. Oh, I didn't know I didn't get to play a dungeon last time. I don't really want the dungeon. I do need a butcher, probably. But mostly need the pawns. I don't know what the last card is. Another pawn, probably. Well, that was a nice draw. Okay, so can I get to 6? Well, I know I can get to 6. Question is whether it's worth like summoning a hunting grounds and buying a highway. Do I have enough for that? Do I have 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have 8, so I can do that. And I don't have 9, so I'm not getting 3 highways. It would just be whether I wanted 2 highways. I suppose. I could do... Well, I'm already drawing the deck. That's another consideration. It's that I should just summon highway. Buy highway. I think that's probably a little better than the hunting grounds at this stage. I may not quite make it through the deck. I'll make it through the deck, but I may not get to play all those pawns for stuff. I assume he'll get a mercenary trash in here pretty easily. But that's the end of it, so that's still not that good of a turn. Definitely silver pawn going down. should be able to empty the highways and then just be fine. Maybe. We want all buys. We're not getting a summon in. That might be a thing to consider. But it's worth it to kill the highways, definitely. And we're going to maybe want to get rid of the silver. So, oh, I have 2 actions as well. So action buy, coin buy gives me 3 highways and a lab, I think, unless I'm super confused. We may not mess around with butcher here, actually. I could have got there. The lab's a little higher percentage. So I got 7 highways. He can't, unless I just like completely blow it. He can't beat that. I don't know that I won't have a finish this turn or anything. But he can start buying provinces. I'll let him. It's no skin off my back. Now I might summon the hunting grounds. The only thing I have to be careful of is to make sure I don't give him a pile out. That's the main thing to check. But as long as I don't do that, I just will win here. He probably summons hunting grounds, I would guess. No, he does laboratory. Laboratory's fine too. I mean, I think hunting grounds is probably better, but for a summon. But, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is not a hard discard. Here's the dungeon last card. Okay, so maybe not on the summon. May just not be the thing. Because I have to throw away so many buys to get there. Though it is very good to start your turn with the summon. No, I think I do have to, don't I? But I gotta play 3 for coins. So it just gives me 2 buys. Another silver would be okay. To see the summons or butcher would be pretty nice to get there too. And also change the mercenary into something. So I had 2 more, or I have 1 more pawn, right? So it can get up to 5 games. That's not quite enough. And maybe that's all it should be, is just a a summon and a pawn, or a summon and a summon labbed by butcher would be okay. I think. The dungeons are actually kind of crappy now. They're not that crappy, but they're kind of crappy. Fortunately, he doesn't even have enough highways to do mega duchies. So that might be my easiest way to finish, is to angle for mega duchies. Whatever that means. Probably gonna change the mercenary into a pawn, but potentially like a laboratory. I'll have to check, see what piles he lowers, see if there's a finish for me. Otherwise, I ought to be able to set it up to have a finish the following turn. I have to imagine. See what he gets. I do like that hunting grounds now. He gets a butcher. And a pawn. I have... Okay, so we don't have piles. He's got 4 pawns, I've got 4 pawns. I got 6 gains, so I'm a gain short, but that's all right. He now has 4 pawns and a butcher. He's also got 6 gains. So I can take the lead, I guess. Here, and maybe lower the pawns 1. Take 2 provinces, gain a pawn, summon hunting grounds. Is that okay? I don't want to blow it, but if I give him 6, well, the pawn doesn't technically count. Like, I could pile out here, but it would lose. If I have 2 more provinces, he would need more than that to beat me. Because he can't gain 5 laboratories. The urchins are free. Okay. I could maybe gain a second butcher. I just don't want to lower the pawns if that's going to let him win, basically. Is my main concern. I might be able to triple province. That should be just like totally safe, right? I would need $8 though, so I don't know if I have that much. I don't think that's in the cards. Double province at least sounded somewhat feasible. Well, if I don't get a pawn triple province, it's probably feasible. And I still have the pile out the next turn. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Do I want pawns on top? It doesn't really matter that much. It's probably a little worse. So, Butcher Province gives me an extra coin token. Action buy, coin buy. That's not good enough. I didn't lower the pawn, so that's good. Is it double province summon? Is that all I can really do? I do not believe he can finish, but anyway, that's probably fine. Whatever I did there. And I can get pretty close to if he takes any provinces, I can get pretty close to just finishing them, maybe. Certainly close. I don't know if I can literally do it. Probably I can quad province. That should be fine anyway because it's just a lot of points. I can mill. I think mill and buy 4. I think I can do 5 provinces on my turn, which is just going to be like effectively half the VP here. So unless he's got some pile out right now, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think he can have a pile out now. And if he doesn't score ahead of me, I think I can finish. I think I can just win. He bought a lab. Yeah, this is an easy win. Even. Pawns and labs. That was weird. I don't quite follow what he was doing there. Like, this is just super easy finish, right? Maybe it doesn't work. How many pawns do I have? 4 pawns? Yeah, it works. This just... Right? 1, 2, 4, 6. I have more points. I can also do the provinces, I guess. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this buy is 6. I hate to like count these because it's like so easy, but it's also terrifying that you would mess it up, I guess. But I could have done provinces too, I think. But okay, well, I got real lucky this season because I managed to sweep 2 people. I think I played okay, but definitely can't complain of the shuffles there. Thank you all for watching. I guess tune in for the championship match, which will probably be sometime in the next couple weeks. But I'll see y'all later.